Hi, I'm Julia Allison for TimeOutNewYork.com. We are backstage at Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week with Fern Mallis, who is the person to know here at Fashion Week. She actually puts on this whole thing. Fern, you've been described as the most influential person in fashion. I don't know if you know that or not. More than Anna Wintour, more than Rachel Zoe, more than Tinsley Mortimer. You. What do you do here at Fashion Week?
Well, that's very sweet of you, but that's a little bit exaggerated. There are a lot of very influential people in fashion, and we have a huge team that puts this all together. But I am credited with creating the organized, centralized shows and being the first one to put everything together in one place here in Bryant Park, and that was amazingly 16 years ago. And it completely changed the American fashion industry and changed the playing field.
I heard a story, a rumor, maybe it's urban legend, that the reason that you started Fashion Week in the first place was that some sort of plaster fell on an editor or reporter. Is this true? Tell me about this.
Yep, you got that almost right. It was back in '91, and Michael Kors was having a show in an empty loft space, a big concrete space downtown on 24th Street. And designers like being in raw spaces because they're kind of edgy and there's no, personality. And when the bass music went on, which it often does, everything starts to tremble because it's so loud. And the pieces of the ceiling started to crumble down on the runway on Cindy, Naomi, and Linda, and Claudia, and all the one-name supermodels. They kept walking, but the plaster landed in the laps of Susie Menkes and Carrie Donovan from the New York Times, and they wrote the next day that we live for fashion, we don't want to die from it. And so they took the industry really to task and scolded everybody for putting them in spaces that are unsafe and unsound, and it pointed at all of the issues of overcrowded showrooms that the fire department would shut down in a minute if they knew what was going on. And there was also, if there were 60 shows, there were 60 locations.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like in New York, trying to get up and down and around town. So it was pretty chaotic.
Did all the designers have their shows within a certain time period also before this, or the idea of a week, was that something that was new too?
That's actually been going on for a long time because the industry has specific dates to design, to then have the collection ready. You need to sell it and ship it and produce it. You need time for to see if the orders are which orders are coming in, so that you have enough time to then, you take a few things off the line, you add a few more things, you have to buy enough fabric. Nobody can buy all that in advance and decide this is what it is. So there are real timetables, and it all works backwards from the shipping dates of when the stores want the goods for spring and fall. And that, over the last 15 years, has gotten earlier and earlier. If you try to buy something in season right now, it's kind of tough,
Yeah.
So that's what's caused the dates. So it was always a market week, a fashion week. But again, it was just disjointed. It was not organized. Nobody, designer A didn't talk to B and C. And if somebody was in the Plaza Hotel one afternoon for a show, and then somebody had a bar mitzvah there that night, you had to take everything down. And then somebody rented it the next day. Somebody else had to pay all over again to do it. And there was no organized outreach to the world's media.
Yeah.
Some of the big designers would invite a few of their key editors from, the UK or Paris over, but no real organized effort because they didn't know what was going on. There wasn't enough of a body of work for them to see. So this changed all that. And all of the systems, as you say, that are in place now, most people just take for granted.
Right.